Welcome along to Friday Forum Live, Point Blank's weekly live broadcast. So today we've got a very special session in store as we're holding a live Q&A on the brand new Roland TR8 and TB3 with our course specialist Paul Crossman.
Hello mate, how you doing?
How you doing, man? Good?
Good, yeah, good.
Good. So before we get into the Roland gear, let's have a quick recap on what's been going on this week at Point Blank. So as you guys may have heard, at the moment we're giving all of our students the chance to buy Native Instruments Complete 9 for half price. So yeah, if you want to take up the offer, all you got to do is sign up for a course and you can get your hands on it for as little as £215. If you head over to Point Blank Plus, you'll find all the details and obviously to make the most of the offer, just enroll for a course. All of our online courses are starting this Monday. So if you want to grab a last minute place, just do it now and head over to online.pointblanklondon.com and get signed up. So yeah, back to today. We're very excited to have a couple of the most talked about bits of hardware with us in the studio. I'm sure all of you guys at home have checked out our first look videos with Paul. And you know, as we're well aware, those videos were full of comments and discussion. So we thought, you know, there's got to be the only way to really do this is live and to get you guys all asking your questions to Paul, and we'll try and run through as many as we can in the time we've got. So yeah, Paul, just before we get into the questions, you know, following up for your first thoughts, have you had more time with these?
I've had a little bit more time with them, and I suppose the thing with it is the general hands-onness of it. Do you know what I mean? The fact that yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There it is, and it works. You know, we've got just explain the way this is set up. The TB3 is syncing to the TR8 over USB via Logic, so I'm using Logic there basically, and just sending out the clock to these, get fired up on them, and I suppose, be at that in a minute. I mean, the thing for me about it, as I said, is it is the hands-onness of them. The fact that there's an intuitiveness that I really, really like. You know, haven't had much time to spend because they've been travelling, you know, the country under lock and key.
And they do sound amazing, that has to be said.
Absolutely,
they do sound
absolutely.
really, really good.
In fact, I was going to just do maybe a couple of minutes of just, I just want to have a play with it.
Yeah, of course you do.
I mean? So if we just bring this in, we've got the 2 units set up, and interestingly, the TB3, and he said 303 there, the TB3 is running, output is running to the input of the TR8, okay? So sorry, this just blows everyone's headphones off with that, okay? Now both of these are sound cards, which I think that's actually one of those things really, really, really cool. So if you get the TB3 on its own, take it out, it's a sound card. TR8 is a sound card,
pretty cool.
You know what I mean, which is ace. So what we've got here, for example, I know there's one of the questions which, again, we'll get to it, is that you can actually record this through this. And then record it into your DAW, which is pretty cool. But sound-wise, I mean, let's start with the 808, or the R8, but it is, I mean, it just sounds like it.
Yeah, it does.
You know, for me, it's all about the kick drum with this. You know, what we've got is the tuning. Now we've got tiny little speakers here, and we can see them going like this. You know, we've got the.
It's just that boom that you're so familiar with.
Absolutely. You can really start to bring out the attack on it. We could do half an hour on the kick drum. Right? You know what I mean? So iconic. Thing is, as well, of course, is that what we can also do is that we can switch them. So there's the sort of classic 909 kick. Now, the ace thing about this is because you've got the 9 and the 8 together in a box, we can set these up individually and get kind of hybrid combinations. You know, now sort of, they are designed for live use as well. So having that kind of combination together is brilliant.
Really cool.
Absolutely. And you know, where is he? More cowbell. I had to blow that one in. Just work out, where is he? There he is. You know, tell you what, it's time to go back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and just the way you can swing, the way you can do that. And we've got effects on all of the steps. You know, you've already seen that in the video if you've already seen them. The scatter.
It's really good for live.
Do you know what I mean? Performance again. You know, I love this thing. I really, really do. Now, the other one, of course. It's an instant smile. You know what I mean? It kind of, and it really. And this has got the scatter on it too. And I know it might seem like a little bit of a gimmicky thing, but ultimately what these things have done is put a smile on my face.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, and they make me want to play with them. Got the scatter going on the go there as well. So, yeah, it's great. Like I said, we could spend a long time just playing around with these.
I know.
Questions. We've got
Unfortunately, we can't just sit here playing around on them, really. You guys at home have been really active in the comment section with all your questions for Paul. So let's try and run through as many as we can in the time we've got. First up, Jacob Waters has asked, can the external input on TR8 be sent to a computer over USB, allowing you to use it as a USB sound input for recording other devices?
Yes.
Yes, that's right, isn't it?
Absolutely. The way that it works is the external input set up on here. What's a really, really nice touch with the TR8 as well is they've effectively put a sidechain input on this. So you can use the step within here to do it. So if I run it, actually what I need to do is run it from here. Right, what we can do, if I press the step button like this, then we can put the step in.
Yeah.
See what I mean, right? Which is great. So make sure I'm on the TR8 like that. Okay, you can see what I mean? I can kind of come in here, and we've got various different ways of. There we go. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a really nice touch. So yeah, I mean, anything that you want, you can put through. Because this is a sound card, you just have it set up as a sound card in here, and I think you won't be able to see this, but within Logic, I've got the. Oh, you can? Fantastic.
Cool.
There you go. I'm getting a thumbs up. If you come over here to the audio preferences, you can see that I've got that set up as the TR8. Okay, so the answer is yes.
Yeah.
You can.
Cool. All good. Someone else, DJ Odyssey, has asked. I think because. Everybody at home wants to get their hands on them, really. He's asked, do they feel sturdy and well built? I think so.
Okay. I was just going to say, maybe if I just like that. No. No. But I mean, absolutely. I mean, the build, it is a plastic case with a metal front, but it's
a good size.
It's a good size, and more to the point, it doesn't really matter what it's made out of, but it's something that I feel like, in the depths of a club somewhere, I could hit it a lot, and it's not going to fall apart on me. They've both got that kind of a feel to them. Do you know what I mean? They do absolutely.
Cool, good. Mont Vienna has asked, is it possible to pan individual sounds on the stereo output? Absolutely is.
I've just got to find it again. Let's just go back to the kick drum for a minute. I don't know why you'd ever want to pan a kick drum, but remember, hold down instrument. And it's the tune, I think.
Ah, cool.
Or one of them. There is definitely a way to do it, and of course my brain has gone completely dead. Which one is it? But anyway, yes, you can. Is the simple answer.
Cool.
You can tune from within inside.
All good. So someone else has asked if you can use a MIDI controller to play the individual drum hits.
Yes, you can. The way that you need to do this is again within Logic, you would have to set this up as an external instrument.
Yeah.
So this is, for some of you out there, one of the things about these is they work with MIDI, which, is going old school, really, really, really old school. So, for example, if I bring this in, you'll see that we have this external MIDI input, which is designed to use with synthesizers and stuff like that. And, as we know, there's a massive resurgence in outboard now in there. So if we set this up as an external MIDI using instrument plugin, then what we can do is the input, if I remember, exactly where it is, but essentially what we do is we set up the MIDI channel to 10 for the TR8,
yeah,
and then it's MIDI channel 2 for the TB3. So providing you've got those set up, that will work. What I would say is if that's something you're going to be doing regularly, it's probably worth setting up a Logic template.
Yeah.
So getting that all worked out in advance, saving it up as a template, and then you can recall it whenever you need it.
That's something that I do at home anyway. I always have that set up for external hardware, really. But they don't use the MIDI cables, do they? It's all USB.
Well, you can do it for the MIDI cable as well. So you have the option they've got. You can probably see on the back here. Well, anyway, there's MIDI ports.
Yeah.
So you know what sort of what was doing when we were doing the original videos was to run MIDI out from one to another. Now what we've got is so here we go, TB3. I'll just finger. There we go. Look, there we go, MIDI ports. What we've done now is we're using USB instead, so you've got flexibility, you know, especially if you're running this with, say, other external MIDI gear.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Cool, let's have a look. The ultimate question, Amadeus has asked, how close to the original is the TB3, the original sound?
I can hear the sound of the internet rubbing its hands
right,
at this one, do you know what I mean? It's good. I mean, it's good.
And obviously, you've played, you know, with the original.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the 303, and it's such an iconic sound, and it's just such a love out there for it. I think they've been brave taking it on, and I think that with the modelling they've done, they've got it close enough. They really have. Now, you know, I'm sure we could spend the rest of today and probably the rest of the year discussing why they're different, but it's close enough. And for bear in mind how much it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and I'm not making an excuse for it because it's 250 quid. You know, I mean that's but sound wise, it does what it needs. Everybody I know that's gone to it, especially those of us who I keep saying things like this of a certain age, you remember them. That little smile comes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When you start to bring it, when you start to play it around.
I mean, yeah, it sounds.
It screeches like a good one, you know what I mean? So what have we got? Let's go back to keyboard mode. Let's try one of the other sounds. So let's go back to something a little bit more distorted. Or less distorted, sorry. You know, it's got the squelch.
Yeah.
And it's also, for me, it's when you drop all the resonance out, you know. Now that's not to say, there's a couple of things we've been talking about on this. The fact that on the original 303 you had the envelope mod and the decay available on rotaries. I think that I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah. Okay, and the envelope mod is there. If we come in, and what they've done is they put it on a button. So it kind of does what you want. You know, the decay, I would love to just be able to get to that as well. But like I said, if that's what you want, go and find yourself a 303 for $2,000. You know what I mean? This just opens it up to everybody. You know, chatting to a few people about it. If I was going on the road and I wanted 808, a 909 and a 303 sound, I would take the TR8 and the TB3 every single time.
I mean, I'm interested. Have you played with the Volkers, the chords?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a play with those as well. Absolutely. Yeah. They are again.
I mean, they're not trying to emulate.
Absolutely, absolutely that. And I think that the thing that gets me about these is that all of them are of a price where you can kind of take a punt on it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's quite important as well. I think the fact that the Volkers are a different thing, they've gone down the full analog route, and I think that they're great for that. But I think this analog digital debate, whilst it's great.
Rages on.
And it rages on, and it's great for the pub. And it's if I had 50 grand in the bank, then I'd be spending it on booklers and going out and doing all that. Yeah. Actually, when I want something and I want to get a job done. Yeah. You know, this.
And obviously, if I'm in a rave and I hear that, I'm not really going to be, running up to the to the performers and trying to see if it's the real thing or not.
Well, absolutely, and if you are, you know what I mean. Absolutely, I mean, but there's always going to be. There was always going to be people out there that go, it's not the original, you know. And I think they've got a point. It's not the original, but it doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. It really, really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'd agree, 100%. Okay, cool. Let's try and run through a few more. So DJ Odyssey again has asked, can you make your own patterns on the TB3? I'm hearing that you can't. And that you can only use the preset patterns.
No, absolutely not. You can do it in two ways. Okay. First mode is we've got a keyboard mode.
Yeah.
You know, which is great. And then we have a pattern mode as well in which you can step input.
Yeah.
So what we've got is there's 2 buttons here. There's a step record and there's a real-time record. So put it into step record mode, and then you can literally go through step by step in the old school. Because one of the things about the 303, the original one, was that the keyboard, the way that was done, it wasn't the best of builds.
That's right, yeah.
So when you were inputting, it would stick, and it was that kind of randomness that gave it why people love it. It's that
character,
kind of, the character, the idiosyncrasies of it. I think by implementing it like this, it's actually a really nice way of doing it. You know, so in answer to the Odyssey, absolutely, you can either step input if you want to go down that road, or you can real-time record, and also remember that you can treat it as an external instrument. So you could use a keyboard to play it into a sequence as well.
Cool. Okay, Speaker Boxer has asked if there's any way around having just the 16 user patterns.
No, you're fixed to the patterns.
Right.
You've got 16 user patterns in here, and that's it. And one of the conversations I've been having is about the idea of being able to dump it from MIDI. So again, we were talking about this earlier on, MIDI sysx dumps, which is something that I haven't said for a very, very, very long time. I mean, that would be a great feature, but as it stands at the moment, treat this as you've got your 16 batches, you know. And again, in a way, I like that idea of it. I like that. It's almost like sort of like the Snapchat, isn't it? You take it and it's gone.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a sound that you create for one track and then actually trying to get it back again. Unless you, was it Chris Lord Alge who used to buy a new box every time he wanted a sound? You know, if you can afford to do that. But there's something I like. There's something about that limitation that actually kind of.
I mean,
like.
you know, I think it's kind of hardware, isn't it? That's what you're doing. You're getting that snapshot, and then
absolutely.
That's it. Yeah, it's
no, totally.
To work
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, Speaker Boxer again has asked: is there any way to save the changes to the kits on the TR8 through USB or MIDI?
As it stands, I don't think there is. I think this is about how you could possibly save it. You know, if you go back to old hardware, like I said, you know, you used to be able to do like a MIDI sysx dump and then record that into your sequencer, or editor librarian style. Again, maybe that's something they can think about. But as it stands at the moment, no, you can't do that.
Cool. So let's have a look. Terry Marston, he's got one on order. You know, nice one, Terry. He said, but is it true there are going to be other drum machine kits added, like the 707?
I don't know. I don't really know, but I think, and this will get the internet started. If I remember rightly, the later ones were all sample based anyway.
Yeah.
So the 707, is it the 6?
It's a 727, is it?
Yeah.
727.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, in that respect, you could probably create one. So I don't know, but I mean, I think that, you know, the stuff that we haven't seen yet, you know, like the System 1, and you know, that's opening up an entirely new idea. You know what I mean? Which I think, again, I mean, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
I'm quite looking forward to that. Getting hold of that sort of modular system in it.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
It looks great.
It looks great, and I think that maybe that this is something that there may have been discussions. I mean, obviously we're not party to that, so who knows?
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone has asked if you can just play. I guess if you can just load the plain 808, 909 kits with everything set to 0. I guess all the modifications set to 0, so you can hear it. I guess.
I think you can. I mean, there's a factory reset on it, which sort of sets everything back to where it should be. Whether that's mapping exactly the 909, 808, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But essentially, you can reset. You can reset all the kits and the pattern. You can also do like a factory reset, which will do it all for you. So just trying to think. Yeah, we got that instant play. Yeah, so we've got. I mean, I think this is pretty much good. I think we factory reset this before we started.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're there. It's there.
Okay, cool. So Bunny Warren has asked, does the TR8 have any swing control?
Yep, we have. If we bring in a...
Yeah.
How much shuffle do you want? I mean, that's a leg-breaking shuffle, isn't it, really? Snap the hips. Yeah, and it's nice because it's not. I mean, it is just like a straight swing. I don't know. It's got, again, it's character, isn't it? You know, and again, the same with this one here as well. I mean, you can swing on that. So yeah, there we go. We can swing away to your heart's content. Oh, there's also, should have mentioned, that's a fine one as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is quite cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, really nice actually.
The hats sound great,
There it is, isn't it? There's just everybody nodding in the room now. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't resist it. Yeah, so it swings like a good one. And also going back to the build quality, and that's another thing that's getting me about this, is I'm not frightened to hit it.
Yeah,
even though currently it's not mine. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe be a little bit frightened.
Yeah. But I mean, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, the quality's, it's definitely there.
Cool. Actually, Gear Junkies have just confirmed that it has been said 7.0 sounds will become available.
Fantastic. There you go. Yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah, heard it here from someone else.
Yeah, someone else, yeah. Heard it through the grapevine first.
Bladdy has asked, is there any way to sync the boxes to a modular rig?
Yeah, there must be. I mean, essentially, you've got MIDI in, MIDI out. If you've got MIDI set up on there. I mean, I know off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the company, but there is a company that makes a DAW to modular sync device that enables you to essentially sync your modular system up to your DAW.
Right.
And I mean, again, that's that thing about these things. They are very much external units. They're very much something that I can see integrating into a system like that. You know,
cool.
Very much so.
Definitely. Okay, let's have a quick run through. See if we've got some new ones in.
Now, there was a question about, if I remember, there was a question about accenting a little while ago. I don't know if we got to that one, did we? How strong is the accent? There we go. It was on Odyssey. DJ Odyssey again. It was on about the accenting. Well, I mean, it's strong. Just make sure I've got, Yeah. Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Cool.
So how are we getting on?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of running through the majority of them now.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, cool. So we're actually, sorry, just one of those questions coming from off camera there. That essentially what we've also got with this is we've got, let's talk about the pattern mode on here. We've got essentially two different sets of patterns that you can set up for each one. Let me stop that for a minute. And also there is a degree of velocity control, I believe, which maybe was another one of the questions that we had. Okay.
Velocity control.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe there was, and I mean, I know that we've got sort of several steps of velocity. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 as 2. Okay. That we can set up on here. And the other thing that might be worth mentioning as well is at the moment we're using this purely as a everything coming out of the outputs.
Yeah.
But what we can also do within Logic, or in this example, or within a sequencer, is set up each of the individual outputs to come out of Logic. So what we can do is if we come up to here and select audio, you can see the input device is set to the TR8, and I can just say set up 10 channels, 10 tracks, like that. And then essentially, when those are all in, like this, just let me get that off of there. What we've got is a master output, and then there's the other side. Oh, what's going on here? They are all coming out individually. Hang on. Bring these in a minute. Yeah, they're all coming out. I can see them all. Yeah, I know what's going on. It's because we've also got the output coming from here as well. But you can see each of these are now set up.
It's that fast.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Which is great. And then obviously we can stack it and group it together.
Yeah.
So that was that. I mean, the other thing too, like we were saying earlier on, is that you can fire these off of external instruments.
Yeah.
So we had another keyboard set up, we could do that, which is great.
Well, I guess it also helps integrate into your setup, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely that. And I mean, I think the thing is, I know that these have kind of been, looked at more primarily for live use, but the fact that you can bring them back in and integrate them, I think is great.
Yeah, and also, I think for me, it's like almost bringing that live element to making music, which is something that it's probably been, a little bit kind of lost slightly with people just getting so into software-based
Absolutely.
stuff.
I mean, the thing is, and the thing about that really is the fact that what hardware brings is a limitation. So it brings, not everything's possible. And again, sort of without wanting to repeat myself, but what I really like about this is the fact that it's like, I know what I want, and I can get it out of this with the minimum amount of effort.
Exactly.
And it also sounds great. The other thing to say about this is that as a sound card, this outputs at 96K,
right?
Which is fixed.
Okay.
And I was thinking about that, because normally, I don't know how many other people work, but there's various different ways of doing it. But that then absolutely makes sense in terms of the sound quality. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I kind of thought about it and thought, actually 96K, I've never really used it, but it makes sense, and it certainly explains, the resolution that we're getting out of it. Again, bring it back in on the, just gonna keep doing it really, bring the kick drum back into play. I mean, at the moment, that's the sound, you're probably hearing that better, that's the sound of the speakers about to explode, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a level of like fine tuning in this as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. Let's just bring that up a little bit there. I mean, that you can tell that kick's kicking out, excuse the expression, but it's kicking out so much weight,
Yeah.
Let's get the snap back on it. We've got going on the toms, because the other thing about this as well is if we come to the tom sounds, for example, then if we go into instant record mode, what I can do is I can add the pattern over the top, which is sort of one of the things we've been doing, by just literally just getting that like that. That kick is just so dominant, it's brilliant. Okay, do you see what I mean? You've got that kind of, and again, so I can do the same thing, bring a little high one on that, and then we can go to the button in instant record mode. There it is.
They sound great as well.
Yeah, so, you've got that kind of very instant, and I can step input as well. If we go back to the TR rec, we can then see that by selecting the different sounds, here we go. See what I mean? And I've then got access to each of them on there as well, so if I can step them in. And then if we wanted to, for example, take the hi-hat, I can then kind of bring this round. We've just got the open on that, and then I can bring in, I can bring in the classic sort of, where is he? Where's the hat? Oh, that was a happy. See, hardware at work.
Yeah.
It's all about the happy accident.
I think also for me, it's like there's a level of creativity, and when you're actually writing, not getting stuck in with loops and stuff. With this, you can so fastly change stuff up, and
totally.
It's brilliant.
I mean, it's absolutely, and again, it kind of, without wanting to, I mean, it brings it up to the level of, brings it up to the levels of instruments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of, you could take these things out. You could work in a band context with them. Mm-hmm. Which again, I think sometimes with a laptop, the fact that you hide behind this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. We've got a couple more in. Shari has asked, can you talk a little bit about the effects and can you process external audio through it?
Yeah, the effects essentially work per step. Right. So if we take, let's take that a minute, right? Let me just get my clap up. Right, so what we can do with it, if we press the step button, and I'm just going to get into the right mode here. I think what we do is, right, it's already on it already. Basically what I can do is I can bring it in on here, and I've just got to remember. This is one of the things about this. Like I said, I haven't had that much time with it since the last ones, but it's that sort of thing where it is incredibly, it becomes incredibly intuitive. So, for example, there's on the clap, it's all got a bit mad. It's great. You know. I think our sound man's just fallen over. Oh yeah, there was a track in there originally, wasn't there? Now what you're hearing there is that there's a lot of them have got it on there. So let's go back to the select there, and then I've got each of these individually now, if I remember where it is. Come on, where are you? Here we go, right. So, put it onto kit mode, and I can switch them in and out for each of the steps, right? So I've got reverb as well. So I've turned that off. Now let's go here, and I'm just gonna bring this in for the clap again.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to show what we got here, right? And then we can go back into step mode, is it? Aha, right, here we go, right. Right, where are you? See what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And then we click on step and we go to instrument. We've got 8 different ones. Let's bring that one and see what that one does. Nice little filtering on it.
Yeah.
And it's the same for the delay.
So you've got 8, you said?
Well, yeah, so what we've got here is, with this set to instrument mode, we've now got 8 individual different kind of effects.
Yeah.
So we'll do that one. Or that one. Or that one. And the way that the time and the gate work is going to be slightly different for each of them. Right? Oh, hello. Okay, so now let's go back to the delay, put it onto kit, go to the hand clap like that, and then if I do what I did before, bring it in. Try that one. Well, that one maybe. What's that one doing? Yeah. Okay, sort of like almost like kind of nice little flangey ideas and stuff like that, you know? And again, what I like about it is, you know, I've just gone, yeah, that's brilliant. I'm never going to be able to get that back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless I'm recording constantly with it, you know?
Which is a wicked way to work anyway, you know.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, so we've also got the same thing on the 303. So what we've got, let me just bring him in. So I'm just getting. Right, just take that delay off a minute. It's really funny how it encourages you to do that. There we go. Same thing with the 303. What we've got here with the effects is you've got different, essentially different sounds, which I kind of get what they've done here. So we take something like that. It's sort of like chorus kind of idea. Bass. See what I mean? So you've got some very basic, not the basic effects, but they're all set up on different ones.
Right.
So there's one with the reverb. Okay, we've got. So there's going to be something for everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's all got 1993 on it. Okay, so there's a kind of almost a kind of a decay-ish idea in that.
So how many are there?
Let's keep going. Loads.
Yeah.
I think the
We're a bit Tetris now.
yeah. I think what we've got is okay. So there's 3 banks of 40 plus a bank of 17, and I'm sure you can add to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then we're back to what we had originally. And of course, the keyboard mode. You can still. Of course, you need to be able to play keyboards. Okay, and then we've also got the XY, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of fun there. You know.
Let's quickly run through the final questions as we're kind of approaching time. Can you run through the 303 sounds? I think we pretty much.
Yeah, I think we've kind of covered a few of those.
Kind of gone through
one or
those.
two.
Axel's asked, is there an effects loop?
No, I don't think there is. No, I mean the effects are very much per step or per instrument. I don't think you can. I know where he's going with that. I suppose what you could do though is you could run it into your DAW and then use effects on each of the individual outputs. Yeah, that would work.
Cool. And finally, someone's asked, is it possible to trigger analog gear with rimshot in additional?
That's the classic way of using the 909, wasn't it? To trigger stuff. I imagine it would be in that you've got additional outputs on here so that you would be able to route. I mean, although that said, if you've got everything set up individually there, you need additional outputs. So I suppose it just depends on what kind of sound card you use. Although I suppose you could buy one just for that.
Yeah.
Have one and have that. I mean, you know, you have got the 4 outputs on there.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So let me just have a quick refresh and see if we've got any final questions as we're kind of approaching the end. Let's have a look. I think that's our lot. I mean, for you guys watching at home, you know, do feel free to keep posting in the chat room. You know, it's always good to see a lot of discussion on the videos. You know, and you know, these are such a hot topic right now. And if there's anything that we missed off, we will try and go through the comments and get back to you guys. But yeah, so final verdict, Paul.
Great. I'm just a final verdict. I think is the scatter on the TB3 actually. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I like them. Yeah. I really, really do. And I think the more time I spend with them, the more hands-on I get with them, the more I like that. You know what I mean? It start getting nostalgic for the days when, you know, it took you 14 hours to get anything
working. You're going to be on eBay getting a 303.
yeah, right. Or I'll buy a house. One of the two. I think, yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, thanks for coming down, Paul.
Yeah, no worries. My pleasure. Absolutely.
All you guys watching, thanks for tuning in. And we will be here. Just before we go, actually, we should say how much are they? Do we know? We've got a rough price?
Yeah, we've got. I think it's $399 for the TR8, and it's $250 for that thing.
Cool. Yeah, very good price, I think.
Yeah, well, it might be $249. I mean, it's in that run range.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's it from us. Thanks for tuning in, and the video is going to be archived pretty much straight away on YouTube, so you can go through it again. You know, with a fine-tooth comb. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Thanks.